While most tools in Revit can be accessed from the ribbon, most functions also have keyboard shortcuts you can use to increase your efficiency. It is therefore helpful to understand the various functions that can be accomplished by using your keyboard. For example, to select multiple elements, such as multiple walls, press and hold the Control key while selecting those objects. To remove an element from the selection set, press and hold the Shift key, and then select the objects to remove. When multiple objects are near the cursor, you can repeatedly press the Tab key to cycle through those elements. Once the element you want to select is highlighted, click to select that element. You can also use the Tab key to select a chain of connected elements. For example, when you move the cursor over the north wall, only that wall highlights. But when you press the Tab key, all of the connected walls highlight, and when you click, all of the highlighted walls are selected. When you switch to the Annotate ribbon and start a Dimension command, you can repeatedly press the Tab key to cycle between the wall face or wall centerline. When placing an element, such as a wall, you can repeatedly press the Tab key to cycle through the available snap points. To cycle in reverse order, hold down the Shift key while pressing the Tab key. You can also use a specific object snap by typing the two-letter shortcut corresponding to the desired object snap. For example, type SM to snap to the midpoint, or SE to snap to the endpoint. On the Architecture ribbon, in the Build panel, start the Wall command. When placing a wall, pressing the spacebar reverses the interior and exterior side of the wall. Click Modify to end the command. On the Architecture ribbon, in the Build panel, start the Column command. When placing components, such as a column, you can press the spacebar to rotate the component in 90-degree increments. When you are finished using a particular tool, rather than clicking Modify, you can press the Escape key to cancel an action. Sometimes, such as when creating walls or lines, you may have to press the Escape key twice to end the command. Revit also supports standard Windows keyboard combinations for functions. For example, you can press Ctrl-O to open a Revit project file, or press Ctrl-P to print. You can also use the Control key to make a copy of an object. For example, press and hold the Control key, and then drag the door between rooms 126 and 127 to make a copy of the door. You can also press Ctrl-C to copy a selected element to the clipboard, press Ctrl-V to paste from the clipboard, and so on. Revit also includes numerous keyboard shortcuts. For example, when you type VG, the program displays the Visibility Graphic Overrides dialog for the current view. Click Cancel to close that dialog. You can also type WA to start the Wall command, or ZF to zoom the view to fit the current drawing window. You can easily modify keyboard shortcuts or create new ones. On the View ribbon, in the Windows panel, expand the User Interface button and select Keyboard Shortcuts to open the Keyboard Shortcuts dialog. Click Cancel to close this dialog. You can also access this dialog from the File tab by clicking the Options button. In the Options dialog, select User Interface, and then, adjacent to Keyboard Shortcuts, click the Customize button. The Keyboard Shortcuts dialog contains all of the Revit commands. As you scroll through this list, you can see that some commands already have keyboard shortcuts assigned. You can use the search field to search for specific commands, or expand the filter drop-down to filter the command list. For example, when you select All Defined, the list shows those commands that already have shortcuts assigned. It may be helpful to scroll through this list to familiarize yourself with the predefined keyboard shortcuts. When you select All Not Defined, the command list is filtered to display only those that do not yet have shortcuts assigned. When you select All Reserved, the list displays those commands whose shortcuts are reserved and cannot be changed. You can also filter the list to show tools on specific ribbon tabs or menus. For example, when you select Architecture tab, you see only those commands that appear on the Architecture ribbon. You can also create a new shortcut for any command that you use frequently. For example, suppose you want to assign the keyboard shortcut MT to the Model Text command. In the command list, select Model Text. Then, with the Press New Keys field active, type MT, and then click +Assign. That keyboard shortcut is immediately added to the command. To remove that keyboard shortcut, for the Model Text command, click MT in the Shortcuts column, and then click -Remove. Then click Cancel to close the Keyboard Shortcuts dialog. If the program displays the dialog asking if you want to save changes to shortcut assignments, click Discard All Changes. Then click Cancel to close the Options dialog. In addition to reviewing the keyboard shortcuts in the Keyboard Shortcuts dialog, Revit displays keyboard shortcuts whenever you hover the cursor over a tool that has a keyboard shortcut assigned. For example, on the Quick Access toolbar, hover the cursor over the Text tool. Notice that the tooltip displays the name of the command as well as the keyboard shortcut TX, which appears inside parentheses. And when you hover the cursor over the Tag by Category tool, you can see that the keyboard shortcut TG has been assigned to this command. As you become more familiar with the program, you will likely find that you can work much faster by using keyboard.